Hey, what's up guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. I know I'm in a little bit of a weird setup here, but we're going to be building a budget gaming PC. Now the budget is around $450. You could probably save a couple bucks depending on where you buy the stuff here. Now just keep in mind that some of these parts are a couple years old, so you're not going to get the best performance, but we are saving a bit of money. Before we get started, if you want to see more videos like this one, make sure to leave a like. That would greatly help out the channel. So beginning with the processor, we have down here an AMD A10 7700K. I think it was released back in like 2013 or 14. It has a frequency of 3.4 gigahertz and it uses an FM2 socket, which this motherboard has. This motherboard is the Gigabyte GA F2A58M HD2. This is a micro ATX motherboard, which will fit perfect in this case, which I'll get to in a moment. This motherboard can fit 2 modules of RAM, and right here I only have one. It's an 8GB module of DDR3 Ballistics Sport 8GB memory from Crucial. Now we are leaving a bit of upgrade room for this motherboard, for this computer in general. Our storage here is a 1TB Western Digital Blue hard drive. Nothing special, 7200 revolutions per minute, no SSD because that's too expensive, and this is a budget build. We also have a DVD driver because this computer or this case does have a DVD slot. And the power supply is a bit old. It's a Diablo-Tech 400 watt power supply. It's not rated for 80 plus or anything like that, so we're taking risks, but oh well. So the total if you buy everything new, it'll be about $450. But again, you could also save up some money and maybe buy used parts. I think even if you buy something like an AMD Ryzen 3300 or something like that, that one I believe costs $50 less than this processor and would probably work better because it has integrated graphics. And it'll probably work better with the GT 1030, which I forgot to mention. Our graphics card is the GeForce GT 1030 from Gigabyte as well. And it has a massive heatsink. It doesn't have a spinning fan or anything like that. It just has a huge heatsink. Anyway, that's it for this. I do have a build time-lapse, and we're gonna get to that right now. I will have benchmarks in gaming after the time-lapse. Alright, now that that's done, let's look at the performance. Keep in mind that most of the technology in this build is over 4 years old, so the performance with newer components like the CPU, motherboard, and memory will most likely be better. Anyway, Ghost Recon Wildlands, which is the most power demanding game, in 1280 by 720 resolution on the low settings preset, Wildlands ran at an average of 49 frames per second, sometimes dipping to 31, This game runs, but it doesn't look very good in low settings. Far Cry 4 in 1080p resolution with medium settings ran at an average of 37 FPS, sometimes dipping down to 26. On the low preset, it ran a little bit better at 42 frames per second, sometimes dipping down to 37. It's playable and doesn't feel bad for an entry-level PC. An older game, Far Cry 3 at full HD, high settings ran at 25 frames per second, but at low settings it ran at an average of 42. This game wasn't that bad because in older gen consoles they played at 30 FPS. So this game feels pretty good. Sometimes it even runs at 50 FPS depending on the scene. Dota 2 and games alike will run at the highest settings because they're not too power demanding graphically. It feels incredibly smooth and looks great, even though I have no idea how to play this game. And the last game I tested, of course, was Fortnite. I still don't like this game, but it runs surprisingly well. If you play in full HD resolution at medium settings, the average FPS is 53, with sometimes going up to 60 FPS and at times dipping to 45, which isn't even that bad. Once it goes to the highest settings, it has an average of 45 frames per second, but sometimes goes down to 30. So for Fortnite, I would recommend full HD at medium settings. Again, with newer components and the same graphics card, the games will run a little bit better. Anyway, let me know if you like videos like this one and I'll make sure to make more. Thanks for watching and I'll see you later.